We had artist Clive Murphy doing a show with us called Almost Nothing, and he first showed at the Soap Factory back in 2006 in our 8x8x8x8 show, where he did a small piece actually in this gallery. And the piece that he did was basically a smaller version of what you see in here today, which are these large-scale sculptures made up of black trash bags that have been simply taped together. The beauty of the sculptures is that they're almost like the perfect sculpture. What they do is they occupy space, which is one of the jobs of sculpture, for a minimum cost, which in some ways for an organization like the Soap Factory makes this the perfect sculpture. They are, as I said, they are literally black trash bags filled with air. We've got two large fans at the end of the room pushing through air through these geometric structures, so you get a kind of tightness to these which makes them almost look solid, and that was an effect that Clive wanted. One of the things that he was looking to do was to create a structure that's like a silhouette piece. It's a geometric structure, but is made of the humblest, kind of most pathetic materials, and that where it has this impression of being solid and three-dimensional, actually, if you were to turn off the electricity, the whole thing would just simply subside into nothingness, which is where you get the title of the show, Almost Nothing. So we have one piece in here and then throughout our galleries there's another piece in Gallery 2 here, and then a further piece in Gallery 3. Again, as well as having an artist who had the confidence, the self-confidence to take on the whole 12,000 square feet of gallery space, or I also wanted an artist who would be able to create pieces that had some kind of dialogue with our space. So the geometric nature of these works, I think, speaks to the geometries of the Soap Factory, which the longer you spend time in here, and obviously I spend a lot of time in here, the more they become interesting. They're kind of found geometries over time. Obviously the building has two separate structures. The structure we're standing in right now is 1883. The structure we just left is 1938 or so. These are two structures from two separate times. And then these big industrial structures, they have added uprights and horizontals over time to create this kind of interlocking geometry that I find very interesting, very stimulating. Obviously, one of the kind of unique points of the Soap Factory is its distressed and raw state. Again, these objects made of trash bags have a rawness and an unfinished nature to them. Certainly in their uninflated state, that I think kind of speaks very nicely to the spaces themselves. I just want to come around here. Up until working in our galleries this March, Clive had really only built these pieces on a small scale. And again, this is another thing that I hope that we're able to do at the Soap Factory, is give artists the opportunity to develop their practice, to build things that they haven't been able to build before, and give them the space and the resources to experiment with pieces and kind of realize those pieces to the fullest extent. You'll see here, I think one of the most impressive parts of this piece is this is an unsupported upright. It's simply supported by the column of air running up the two uprights. This beam is completely unsupported, which is kind of amazing. And then we have the final piece in our gallery 3. Again, similar sculpture, again very geometric, fitting in between the beams of the gallery. I mean, one of the things that's interested me, again, it's about this underappreciated objects. It's about this geometry. It's about the play of the distressed geometries of a building with the geometries of these trash bags. But they also have, these pieces also have a strange, certainly to me, and then I hope to people in general then, they have a kind of a sexual element to them too. They're very black, they're very taut, they're very shiny. One of the most amazing things, and this is something that isn't available to every viewer who comes to the space, but when you inflate these objects at the beginning of the day and when you deflate them at the end of the day, and there's a very kind of sexual element to them. They're kind of both imposing and commanding and dominating, but they're also very weak and insubstantial, which adds a nice kind of, by nice I mean kind of accurate kind of sadomasochistic feel to them, in that they have this kind of, I said, they have this kind of black, shiny dominance, but, a pinprick could just take them down. They are literally made of air and plastic. Clive Murphy's practice in general is about drawing attention to underappreciated or underutilized material culture. So stuff that we are not really noticing around us. Something like black trash bags, which are kind of a nullity almost by definition. They really only have substance when they're filled, and when they're filled, they're something that we immediately forget. Again, you can perhaps say that Clive is filling them with something else, air, another nullity, and it's giving these objects kind of their place in the sun.